I said, listen.
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What? Hang on a minute, I had a second.
But that night, a fierce storm went through the island.
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What?
Ever known.
Hang on a minute, I had a second.
The wind howled down the tracks and tore down
I said,
the trees.
listen.
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What? Hang on a minute, I had a second.
And flattened fences. It even blew
I said,
birds sent away.
listen.
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What?
The other
Hang on a minute, I had a second.
But they were worried. I hope we're
I
safe
said,
in here.
listen.
Percy should have.
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What?
All night long.
Hang on a minute, I had a second.
Shook in the gale. Then there was trouble.
I said, listen.
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What? Hang on a minute, I had a second.
I said, listen.
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What? Hang on a minute, I had a second.
I said,
But that
listen.
night,
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What?
it was the strongest
Hang on a minute, I had a second.
blustered and blew. The wind howled down the
I said,
tracks
listen.
and
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What? Hang on a minute, I had a second.
ripped off roofs and flattened fences.
I said, listen.
It even
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What?
off Gordon.
Hang on a minute, I had a second.
Tucked up for the night. But they were worried.
I said, listen.
I hope
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What?
the wind
Hang on a minute, I had a second.
So the suspension bridge twisted and shook in the gale.
I said,
Then
listen.
there was trouble.
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What? Hang on a minute, I had a second.
I said, listen.
Alright, I'll ask you something now. What? Hang on a minute, I had a second.
But that night, a fierce storm swept through the island. It was the strongest wind the engines had ever known.